Okay, so in this video, I'm going to take you through the entire setup of a working SMS application built with Python, specifically Flask, and using the Africa's Talking API. The reason why this product popped up is I'm interested in figuring out how integrations work with texting. I know in a lot of the places in the world, Twilio is the go-to product for a lot of SMS integrations. But through my work, I've been discovering that Africa's Talking is much more tightly integrated with the telecom companies on the continent. And the pricing of it is generally lower than Twilio. And there's also more coverage for things like USSD in a lot of these countries. And USSD is a pretty common way that people in sub-Saharan Africa, specifically Kenya, especially those folks that live in the really rural areas that have only feature phones, it's more preferred that people would use USSD over SMS. And so, yeah, that's like the primary motivation for this. And this video is mainly to show something working end to end and how I got to it. So yeah, let me just show a quick demo of what we're able to do. I'm going to send a text to a shortcode 80203, which I've configured to hit my server. And as you can see, it basically responds with the same text that I texted the server. And so that's all custom logic that I wrote in this 30-minute tutorial. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So what I've done is I've set up a account. I just basically went through their website and created my own account. And then they have this section called the Sandbox. And I think this is pretty nice because it allows you to basically launch this simulator where they give you a phone and you don't, if you're, let's say, working on an application in Uganda or Kenya, but you don't live there or you don't have access to a mobile phone physically there, they actually give you this really nice interface where you can pretend to be from a country and it will work in their sandbox. And this is a very good way for developers to test out whether or not the code they wrote makes sense. So this is a simulator. I don't know why it's not loading right now, but it should. There we go. And then you can kind of click onto, let's say we're working in Uganda, or let's just say Kenya. So if you go to Kenya here, let's see. Right, and then we can enter, okay, so it's something like that, 254, followed by 3 digits, and you can kind of connect to it, and you can basically emulate like a USSD code. You can also pretend that you're sending a text message to a certain number. So this is pretty useful. Yeah, that's kind of the general workflow. Let's actually set something up right now. So let's try USSD, for example. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a callback of some kind. So basically what we want to do is we want to make, we just want to respond to something. So let's say the workflow is you text a number, or you text a number, which is our shortcode, and we return something. So let's do create shortcode. Let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's our shortcode. Okay, it's not available. Let's do another one. Okay, cool. Let's just get one that's available here. Cool. So now that we have a shortcode, let's actually create a callback URL. So if you go here, actually, yeah, my shortcodes, actions, delete, interesting, SMS callback URLs. All right, let's actually just figure out how this works. So now that we have a shortcode, okay, if you're texting, getting texted, let's actually figure out how we can configure that. Okay, to receive delivered reports, you can register a callback email that will result whenever we receive a report from a message that belongs to you. Incoming messages, there we go. So to receive messages, the instant they come into our API, you can register a callback that we will invoke whenever we receive a message that belongs to you. This helps you avoid the need to call get. Okay, great. So what we can do is we can actually configure URL. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a server of some kind. Let's just set up like a Flask server Python tutorial. Let's just do something like this, and yeah, hopefully this will work. Yeah, let's just quickly do this little Flask server. So let's do this. So let's take a look at this. Okay, let's just make a directory called Flask server. Okay. And we're gonna pip install Flask. This probably won't work. I'm guessing there's some permission issues, but we'll see how this works. Okay. All right, install Flask, and then, okay, quick start. Route hello world. Let's try that out. So let's do, let's create a file called server.py, and let's paste that in. Okay. Python server.py. Let's just see what happens. Python 3 maybe? Nope. Okay, let's just take a look at what. Okay, Flask run. Okay, so export Flask app equals server.py Flask run. Okay, cool. So now, yes, hello world. Okay, great. That's kind of what I need. Let's actually open up a code editor here, and we're just gonna look at this file here. So we're returning hello world. Okay, so what we want is we want this to be hit. So if, for example, if we hit that URL again, it's gonna return 500. Okay, great. So that's kind of nice. Now let's install ngrok. So I have this tool called ngrok, which allows us to set up an HTTP, like a publicly available website that's both HTTP and HTTPS. But I'm actually serving this locally. So let's actually do that. So I'm going to say ngrok HTTP 5000, and let's see what it does. So now it's going to set up a server that's publicly available. So for example, if I just go here, it's going to go and return hello world. So that's actually hitting my server, but this URL here, this host name, is publicly available, and that's how I can that's what I can do to like kind of post it here. So let's actually see. I'm just going to add a little bit of extra here, extra path here. Let's say SMS callback. Let's just do that. Submit. Okay. So now if we go back to here, I want to add a post route to the tutorial here. Let's actually add. I'm just going to get app.route, right? SMS callback. Forgot if it was underscore or dash. Let's take a look. It's underscore. Okay. Somehow I need to specify that this is a post, and I just want to print the param. So this is like SMS callback, and I think I need to access the parameters. So let's actually look up the Flask tutorial here of what that looks like. So routing. Okay, we've got some routes. Okay, here's a post request. Oh no, this is just, oh man, tutorial shouldn't be talking about posts because this is a post in a blog, and not a post in the sense that you're setting up a post request. So let's just take a look at, okay, HTTP methods. Okay, so methods equals, all right, so let's do that. Let's do comma, method equals post. And you have this request object that we have in control of, so we can do print, right, request. Let's just see what's in the request. Return hello world. Let's just try return hello world, but thank you for sending a text message to me. All right, so let's try this out. So that's our Flask server. Let's try to hit this URL, SMS. Not found, great. But if we post to it, it should be found. So let's actually go to our Africa's Talking simulator, and we're gonna send a message to the shortcode that we have. So the shortcode that we have is 80203, paste that in, and then we just send a message like hello. And let's see if that hits our server. So there's a post request, SMS, callback. That's awesome. So now if we go back to here, let's just actually see what was printed. Print request. Okay, so I actually need to think about 404. Oh, interesting. It was not. It was a 404 as well. So even that is not found. Interesting. So I don't think it's, so Africa's Talking did the right thing, but I don't think the Flask server did the right thing. So let's actually take a look at the documentation again. Return due to login. Let's see. Okay, so let's actually take a look at the documentation of Okay, so I'm actually going to open up Insomnia, which is basically a tool for debugging. So I'm going to open it right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to send a post request to localhost host 5000 SMS callback. Okay, so the page is not found for some reason. I'm actually going to I'm going to reset my Flask environment. I'm going to run it again because I actually don't really know how Flask works. Great, cool. Name request is not defined. Okay, so let's actually, good. So we're not gonna solve the problem of like hot reload of the server. We're just gonna see how this goes. So request.path. Okay, so methods equals, okay, so here we go. We've got login, request equals method, request.method. Okay, cool, so request.form. Okay, let's take a look at form. Request.method. And let's just try it out. So we're going to try this again. I'm going to restart the Flask server. Send this again. Thank you for sending a message to me. Okay, cool. So, and then we're able to print out some stuff. Immutable dictionary. So now if we're sending up some like, if we're setting up a body, enter a URL and get a response, select the body type. If we're sending up like some JSON, like A123, B456, they're all should be quotes. If we're sending up a JSON request, we should be able to print it out right there. Okay, cool. And then we're going to try it again. It's empty. Oh, interesting. So this is okay, so request.form, the request.body, is that something I can do? I just want to be able to print out what I'm being sent in the post. request did not have any attribute body. Okay, let's figure out how do we do this on immutable dictionary of nothing, which is kind of weird. And looks like there was something from Africa's talking. Let's actually take a look at how we can do, what is request.args? Args, let's try this. So I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna refresh, and then I'm gonna send the same request again. So click here. Nope, both are still empty. Okay, I'm just trying to figure this out now. This is in the JSON, I'm sending it as a post. Flask print request body. Get the data request post. Request.data. Request.json. Ooh, that's cool. Let's do that. Okay, let's do this again. Let's refresh. Okay, let's try and send a post request. Okay, cool. So now I can print out what the request JSON is. So I don't really care about the form. Cool. So now let's actually send a text from the Africa's talking side. Let's start this again. This is 80203, and then it's hello. And I'm gonna send hello. And looks like there is a post request, but it's still 404. So I don't know what's going on. It's a 400. Okay, so maybe there's some kind of error. Let's actually take a look at if Flask has like a debug. Flask debug mode show logs or something like that. Debug, let's try that. Debug active, let's try this again. Hi. Okay, I don't know how to do that. 80203. Okay. Okay, so it's still sending back a 400 request. Okay, let's actually see how you should be responding to this. Oh, okay, I guess you shouldn't really be sending a text back. I think you should just be receiving a message. So I need to figure out how to receive a message. This thing. So we received a post, but the JSON is not a JSON. Okay, let's actually take a look at what's the data. Let's just try that. Maybe they're not sending up as JSON. It's possible. Maybe they're sending up as a different kind of incoming request. So let's try this again. So, hello. Hello. Okay, so it's request the data. Let's take a look at this. Okay, let's take a look at form. Form request.args. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay. All right, looks like this is sent up as a list. Okay, so which one was this? This is form, request.form. Okay, so request.form was able to send up this data. So let's actually refresh this. Okay, and here we go. So now we have a immutable multi-dict. So let's actually see what that acts in Python. is a subclass of dictionary that contain multiple values of the same key. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, now we have all this data, and then now we can figure out what to do with it. And yeah, we don't really need to respond to anything. I think we just need to return like 200 or something like that. So let's just, I think we just need to tell Africa's talking that it was a good thing. So let's just return that. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we've got that, and now we return 201. Okay, great. So the next thing we're going to do is we can actually reply to this message. So let's figure out how to do that. Let's see. So we've created a shortcode. Let's actually send a SMS back to the original user. I actually don't think you can just send. Well, we'll actually see. So these are the inboxes. Let's actually take a look at the API key here. Please check your instructions. So we're gonna activate this, and we're gonna just basically I'm gonna verify my account, and once we verify, I think we should be able to have an API key to work with if we need to test out the sending of the SMS. So let's actually give this a shot. Let's actually give this a shot here. So just give me 1 second. I'm gonna verify my Focus Talking URL. From my email. There we go. So now that it's verified, I can go back to settings. I want to get my API key. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in my password here. And yeah, I'm going to get this API key. All right, so I'm actually just going to do API key equals sandbox. So now that I have my API key, I mean, you can do whatever you want with this because it's a sandbox. I'm going to figure out how to, I'm going to just look up the docs on how to make a SMS request. I just want to send a message to someone. The documentation loaded. Let's actually send a response to the number that sent us this message. So what we're going to do is we're going to just going to paste the curl command here, but we're going to actually write like a function here that's going to like respond to user. And then it's going to basically send an SMS, but I'm just going to look at this code for now. Looks like there's a curl request. Looks like we're hitting this API or this host name with this path with these headers, and let's see, my app username to message hello from. Okay, so it looks like this is how we would be sending a number like that. Okay, cool. So let's actually see if this will work. And I'm actually going to look at a different library, like maybe Ruby. No, there's a bunch of gems. I don't really want to look at gems. I want to basically construct the request. So let's actually do something like, okay, so Python send a post request. Let's take a look at this. So we have requests. We already have, okay, let's just import requests. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the URL. We're going to have some params in the key value, and then we're going to send a post. And then I think we need to add some headers. So let's actually try this. So requests dot post, and it's going to be the sandbox URL. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to add some headers now. So let's figure out how to specify headers. Okay, try it. So post with headers, something like that. Okay. So URL data equals, okay, headers equals, okay, so header, we're going to add in our API key. So API key is going to be this. We also have accept application / JSON. We're also going to do content type is this URL form encoded thing here. All right, so that's the headers. And then our data is going to be, looks like there's a username. I don't actually know what the username is. Sandbox, okay, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to send a text back to the original text there. So phone number, recipient, phone number. Okay, and it's going to be 2. Okay. Message, okay. Message is message. And then we have from, I think this could be anything, but let's just put in our shortcode that we have here. All right, so now that we have a request endpoint, let's actually do a response. So we're going to do respond to an SMS. Okay, we're going to actually do request.form, and we're actually going to let's just see what comes in. I'm actually not really sure what's coming in, so let's actually go to our simulator. And we're going to your phone number. Okay. (80203), hello. Let's just try this out. So this is sending a, let's see, from. Okay. So we've got this from. So that's our recipient phone number, and then we want to send a message like, yes, I have received your text. Thank you. Okay. And then once it's responded, then I can return success. So let's actually try this out. All right, let's try this again. Cool, so looks like recipient is undefined, okay. Interesting. Okay, let's actually print request.form from, because it's basically you're able to send the from, so I think the number should exist. I just don't think I'm accessing the variable correctly. No, you do have the right phone number. It's not defined, maybe I just spelled it wrong, so let's go server.py line 27. Okay, there we go. So let's try this again. So what this does, it got the right number. Let's see. Cool, great. So it replied twice because the first time I didn't reply correctly. Now let's actually update this to just basically reply with the same text. So it's like request.form. It's just going to be like a mime. So we're going to get the text and we're going to reply with the text. And we'll see how this goes. All right. So it's like, hi, my name is AJ. And the server is going to respond with the exact same thing because that's what we coded it to do. So yeah, I hope this gives you a sense of what it's like to work with Africa's Talking and their development tools with the SMS API. And yeah, if you have any questions, please leave a comment. And yeah, and if you're interested in watching more of these videos, please leave a comment of what you like to see. Yeah, that's all.